Hello everyone, I'm here today with a new process video and I'm working in my TN about the books I'm reading this year. And this one's gonna be a little bit different because where I left off, I have a 1-pager, but I think I need to do a 2-pager for this book. So I'm actually going to skip this and I'll come back to it, but I'm gonna go here. I just finished reading Sunrise on the Reaping, and so I want to get this done, and I know I have things to say about it, and having like this little amount of space, that's not going to be enough. I am a fan of the Hunger Games books. I read the original trilogy when that was out. When Ballad of Songbirds and Snakes came out, I read that right away. This one, so full disclosure, when I'm recording this, it's actually the middle of April. So the timeline's a little off, but I bought it the weekend it came out and I couldn't get to it right away. My plan was like, I'm going to go home and read it immediately. Yes, well, life got in the way. That did not happen, as we all know. Things happen. So I finally got to it, read it a couple weeks after it came out, and whoo boy, it's a great addition to the series, but as with, the others, it's a lot to take. It really makes you think about your relationships and society as a whole and how we function, particularly in today's environment in the United States. There are some scary parallels, and these are things we should be thinking about when we read books. So that's good. But I need to scrap it, and I have nothing so far other than I have my bag of stuff that I generally use for TNs. So I'll go through there, find out if there's something I can make work with this. It's a little bit of a challenge because the book is purple and gold. Right away, I'm seeing this branding strip here that might be good. It's got purple in it. I don't know that I like the theme of stars other than like, yay, it was a great book. I mean, the story is, compelling, but wow. So maybe that, but I'll go through here and I'll find something. All right, I found this in my TN pile of papers that I had. I do have a bunch that are like pre-cut. I did discover, though, these are old ones from Kelly Perky. I did discover that they're too big. They're not perfectly 4x8, but I can cut it down. But I'm wondering if I should put this over here and then use this for my journaling on the other side. It does leave me quite a bit of room. I could embellish more down here with some things. Maybe like that instead. Find something for up here. I'm not sure. I like, though, that it says documented right on it. It may be a little difficult, though, when I'm writing for the black to show up. I do have a white pen, but then I have this portion over here that needs to be in black. So it might be a little bit of a challenge, but I'm willing to accept it. And then can I still work in this? These aren't the same color. They're different shades, that's for sure. Not sure I'll end up using this then. It might have to be something else. I was about to say I'm going to go into my book-themed cards. I don't know that I should, though, because is that going to like really clash with this? Maybe I should just find a mat for this in my scraps. Maybe that's the way to go, and then work in some gold. All right, I figured before I do anything else, I should probably cut this down so that it's the size I need. So I'm going to 4x8. I believe these are about 4 1/4, 4 1/2, 4 1/4. All right, so I want a little bit on this side and then a little bit on this side to get it down to 4 or as close as possible. And there we go. And then same thing here. There we go. I need to get this to 8. I don't want to cut off the whole thing, though, so let's do that. Right up to 8. Oh, like it's already, I cut it actually a little bit shorter than 8. I thought I had more room to work with. Well, guess what? Then that's fine. Actually, it still leaves me enough room up here and here, so that's good, and that will be easy to attach in here. So I've decided I'm not going to fully matte the photo, but I'm going to put something behind it. And I pulled out these two options because I want that gold color. This matches very well. I love that it's got a little pattern in the back. It's subtle, but it's there, so I like that. This is definitely a bolder choice. And I liked this because of the idea of, you know, people living in the capital get all the gilded things and live a life of luxury, whereas the outlying districts are poor and struggling, and the capital really doesn't care. So I feel like that would be very symbolic, kind of, to have something, you know, this ornate and shiny there. I'm not crazy how it looks behind this, though, so I'm not sure. Or maybe it would be better if I just did a strip. Nope, I don't like it that way. I like it better this way. And then maybe cut off a little here. But I'm really thinking, because this background is so white, that this is the better choice. I can do it like that. And again, I still have room left on this. I could cut some off and add it on the other side to match. All right, I cut this one down to 8 inches, and now I'm just going to pretty much center it, top to bottom and left to right. Doesn't have to be totally perfect. And I do have to say that's part of what I like about doing this in a TN. When these were first out and very hot, everybody was using them for different things. I got on the bandwagon for a little bit and then quickly realized, like, it's not a format I'll use to permanently house any memories. I don't think, but I love using it for things that are sort of semi-permanent. Like, I'm going to do them, and then if I'm done with it and I don't look at it again in 6 months or a year, it can get thrown out. I'm totally cool with that. It's more about the process for me. So I'm liking that aspect, that it's faster. It doesn't have to be cut perfectly, like just slap stuff on and go. That's working really well for me for how I'm documenting my books. This is the little piece that I have left after cutting off the other strip, and it's already 4 across. Let's just double check. Yes, 4 across, but that's too wide. I think maybe I'll just go in half here. Eyeballing. And do that, because that, otherwise it's way too wide. But a strip like this, much better. So let's see. I have this over here. Oh, I could even cover up the bottom part if I didn't want to put anything in there. Or I could kind of do it in the middle here in the big rectangle area. I could overlap it with something like a phrase or whatever, but I could still do stuff down here. I think that's what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to put it right there. All right, I've decided I'm going to try something. I hope it works. If it doesn't, I've already decided I'll cover it up. But I have this stamp set, and I wanted to use this one that looks like a Capitol building, you know, or a museum or something like that to represent the Capitol. I want to stamp that right down here. Now, I want to use gold ink so that it'll match all of this. I'm not exactly sure how that's going to show up on here, but I've already decided if it doesn't work, I can re-stamp it in black, which is fine, and then just fussy cut it to go over what I screwed up. So either way, it should work out fine. But I've got my ink, I've got my cleaner pad here. Where's my spray? Here's my spray. So I'm good to go. Well, I tried it, but sadly you can't really see it at all. You can see a faint outline there, but it didn't really work on the white or the purple. The white I kind of knew because I did a tester and you can barely see it on here, but I thought, oh, maybe the half of it will show up on the purple. Not really. So normally I use this directly on photos if I'm going to use it, and it works great if the background of the photo is a little bit darker. So that's great, but I don't even know like what else I'll use it for then. Honestly, I have this gold one, and the white one I have, and I use that quite a bit. That's great for darker papers and photos. This one, you know, a little bit harder to use, maybe I've discovered, but that's okay. I will do my plan B. I will stamp it, and then I will fussy cut around it, and I'll add it that way. There it is, stamped in black. It came out perfectly, which is what I want. So I'm going to fussy cut it, and I'll lay it right over where I stamped before. I've decided to add some stars here, and I have these older stickers here. It's a mix of stars, hearts, and asterisks, and I'm actually going to end up using all of the stars that I had left because I've got one there, I've got one hanging out right here, and then I have that little one. So those will all get used, which is great. Studio Calico, if you want to go out and find them. I've got one big one here. I'm going to do the other one. I'm going to have one up here. Yeah, so I need the bigger one over here. I don't want two on the same page. Okay, so I'm going to put like that over there. And I'm going to take the little one. And maybe I'll do it like right here. Above documented. Yeah, I think that looks good. All right. So I've got that. And then I realized also in this stamp set, there's one that says one for the books. I love it that it kind of has a double meaning there because it was amazing. I would say definitely this is the best book I've read this year so far. Close to Tattooist of Auschwitz. Yeah, I mean, like I loved the Matthew Perry book, but more for nostalgia and because I loved him, not necessarily because it's the greatest read I've ever seen. You know what I mean. I don't have to explain that, I don't think. But this one, I think so far is the one to beat. So I feel like this phrase is appropriate. So I'm going to stamp that in black. And then it ends up kind of matching this too, which is nice. Okay, I have that stamped on there. And after I did that, I noticed I had gotten a smudge over here on this side. I must have touched the ink somewhere and then touched the paper. But I thought, you know what, there's an opportunity to use ink to rough it up a little bit. So I added some up here, some down here, and then I did this side as well. I just took the edge kind of and did a couple of spots. And I actually really like the way that looks. And it definitely fits the book as well. So that's awesome. So now all I have to do is glue this down and do my journaling. And I will do that off camera anyway. So I'm going to count this one as complete. So here's another layout finish for my books. Thanks for watching.